Meanwhile, the German attacks down here in the south just halted. I mean, if Germany really wanted to, they could probably cut straight across here before the French realised and form a defensive line there. But with just the... Whoa, okay, that's a lot of interceptions going on. These are German and Italian ships going after British transports. That's a lot of British transports. Okay, Britain must be trying to send an army abroad. Or send an army home. That's also possible. So if we just flip over to the British side, I just want to see what their escort efficiency here is. It is 87. So they're doing a bit... Oh, in fact, you can see it there. Okay, cool. Meanwhile, Sweden actually holding for the time being. And if we just take a quick look at this, we can see that Sweden is 39% towards capitulation. Morocco is actually closer. And Sweden and Ukraine are actually about the same. So what is happening to the Ukraine? So Ukraine, we've just got the Russian units just storming across. We have Russian infantry. We have Chinese infantry just grinding away at this front line across the river. And so far, not really taking anything. All of the lands that they're taking here are fully expected territories that they would just be taking. We have units coming across Crimea. And at the moment, Crimea doesn't have... Oh, yes, they do. They do have defensive units here. They don't really care if they lose the Crimea. Bulgaria should be alright. Bulgaria has a very thin line with Georgia and Armenia between the Russian Caucasus. Meanwhile, Germany is just death stacking their entire navy. Yep. Positioning penalty on them is going to be horrendous. Oh, but Germany's got a naval invasion going on. Oh dear, Bordeaux has fallen. They've still got Bayonne actually for a Atlantic-facing port, but otherwise they are now stuck to just the to the Mediterranean. Although I guess Atlantic forces can come via Spain, so it's not the end of the world. And now we're starting to see some Austrian shipping going against the Spanish and the Italians. So have the Austrians done anything special with their ships? Are these surface raiders? Kind of. Yeah, they are. So Austria's doing surface raiding in the Mediterranean, which is kind of brave, just because there will be so many planes around. And in fact, that is another thing that we should take a look at, is air superiority. So if we just flip over to Britain and then go to the aeroplane map mode, we can see that the English Channel is okay. There is a huge air battle going on in southern France at the moment, which the... Oh, good grief, 30 losses? The Germans are annihilating Co-Pro in the skies. I have never seen kill deaths this massive. Air wing efficiency is only 45%. Why? Have they just massively overstacked the air bases? In which case it's probably better to just not fight here. Like, the scale of those losses, you cannot maintain that. That's like 4 or 5 to 1. Ooh. You're under capacity, you're under capacity, you're over capacity, you're over capacity. I mean, it's not that much. Storms, but that'll be affecting both sides. Why is your efficiency so bad? Supply? Airbase is overcrowded. Minus 100%. Who else is in here? Lacking fuel. 36% as well. That's why. There's your problem. It wasn't airbase overcrowding its fuel supplies. Right. And part of that is the fact that they have no convoys. How does Britain have 170 convoys? Britain has not blocked any of their shipping, so all of their convoys are still coming through the channel. And we have seen that the Germans are just... Whoa! here in big numbers. But then again, the Germans are here in big numbers and losing big numbers because submarines in the channel is never a good idea. And, like, even planes have an easy time finding them. So maybe they're using what few convoys they have, you know, as just bait to try and get them to come in. Canada is in the war against Third International. You were right. I completely missed that. Oh, jeez. Yeah, here come the American navies. Everyone has recognized the weakness of the Third International, and they are just circling. Naval invasion happening against the Irish. These are going to be the Americans coming in. Irish defenders at the moment are holding firm, and Irish submarines with really, really poor American naval coverage. And the Irish are getting a lot of kills here because these submarines are good. So Seamus O'Moiris should be getting quite a few kills coming in at the moment. I really, really hope that the Irish have just enough troops guarding all of this. What are the templates? Please don't be 10 width. You're 10 width. Great. So against a determined attack, they won't hold. This is going to be down to whether the Irish subs... And they do have 100% submarine efficiency. This is going to be 100% down to whether the submarines can catch and sink the transports as they come in. Although that shortage of oil is not going to help. The Americans have landed. It's over. Ireland is out. Damn. The sharks are circling. Sweden valiantly holding out. But as the Third International forces lose, those units will start to dwindle as well. We've got a pretty determined German attack hammering into the north of the French, and the French just don't have a front line that they can really hold. Like, their chance was this river, and as soon as the Reichspakt crossed that river, it was over. I mean, as soon as they crossed Belgium, it was over. Large Union of Britain fleet coming out against the submarines. What order are you lot on? Patrol. Oh no, you guys are patrol. You guys are strike fleet. So they are doing that correctly, and I'm a little bit surprised considering both sides are just on massive doom stacks of death. Britain's out of fuel though, so these ships are going to be fighting with really poor efficiency as soon as they run out. Starting to feel like Ireland's the only Third International player with a plan. They just seem so disjointed. Yeah, I agree. Britain still hasn't fixed their oil situation. Ireland is out. Germany is low. Oh no, that was France's low. Germany is also low. Austria is fine. Meanwhile, over here, the Russians know where the weakness is, and that's the opening between Vitebsk and the north of the Smolensk River, and their heavy tanks are just bulldozed through that. There is a line set up back here, which they are rushing to man at the moment, with some Austrians moving north to go and help out with that. But really, if they want to counter this, they're going to need the Ukrainian mechanized, which were last seen in Sweden. Although, I'm not seeing them there anymore. Yeah, looks like they were withdrawn from Sweden. And there's a cut-off. I feel really bad for Ireland. Ireland was doing everything right. Now that they're basically dead, I just want to take a look at this. Submarine 4. I mean, sub 4s versus sub 3s. I'm not sure I would have made that decision because Ireland, yeah, they have a big industry, but submarine 4s are just so expensive. You really want to focus on the 3s, particularly at this stage of the game. If your opponent starts getting destroyers that can actually sink your sub 3s, which is unlikely, especially seeing as he's got the visibility reduction and also the retreat chance increase. Then you go for the 4s, so that was a not great idea. I would have gone for the 3s and just pumped those out like crazy. But yeah, he's just done everything right. He's getting the torpedo tax. He had a decent admiral in place. He hasn't done anything with the destroyers, but that's okay. He's got smoke generators, which is an important one. I can't click around and see what the template is. I'm curious about whether he's used snorkels or not. Right, I was looking at Ireland, because before they died, I wanted to see what their submarine template was. So they're going sub 4. Yeah, see, these are good submarines. Snorkel. This close into land, and especially in the channel. Actually, sub 4s with snorkel in the channel are fine. 100 attack. Surface detection 30, sub visibility of only 9. And that's going to be even less because they're admiral. I mean, those are good. And then they also have the sub 3s, which are the same. Sub visibility of an extra 3 and less attack. But yeah, having sub 3s with 4 engine, 3 torpedoes just to keep the price down. Production cost 140, 120. Actually, production cost not that bad. Only 20 extra. What about the engine? Production 150, production 170. Again, it's only 20. Totally worth the investment. Sub 3s with 4 torpedoes and 4 engines would be good. Wouldn't speed help with convoy escort? Yes, because it allows your destroyers to arrive sooner, and you can chase after submarines for longer. Meanwhile, the entire British fleet is out, just burning oil. And Sweden. Actually, they're holding for the time being. Steel with Union Britain was modified, probably because... Wait, has Britain been invaded? No, just Ireland. Oh, Ireland. Ireland, Ireland, Ireland. At least the Irish submarines will be able to continue fighting. The only problem is they won't be able to buy in oil. They could be lend-leased it, though, I think. I'm not entirely sure how nations in exile lend-leases work. And who would lend it to them? Britain? Because Britain's got so much spare. We've even got spare convoys, though you're not really using any at the moment. Yeah, you are buying in oil, mostly from Russia. None of it is arriving. Because nobody's protecting the routes, because Britain has no oil. Is that just because of enemy blockades? Or is Britain just not buying it? Britain's just not buying it. Right, because no convoys. These naval invasions just coming in hard and fast right now. America's being ruthless here. I did see that Britain did a little naval invasion just to, you know, cause a couple of problems around Calais, because Calais is forever English. What they really should have done is try to bolster Ireland. Where are some of the best multiplayer games I've been a part of to watch? The Greek Master of the Mediterranean on YouTube was really good. So just search for Mordred Master of the Mediterranean, or Masters of the Mediterranean. It'll be a Greek flag with a burning convoy and a submarine on the thumbnail. You do give the naval and air force to an allied commander, though in multiplayer game is more like that. That's true. And we're doing another rehost, I imagine. Crashed on resync. Rehosting, same save. Okay. Probably was about the same, actually, thinking about it. They just weren't as clumped as they are right now. Right, England. What boat stuff did you do? Easiest way to check would be here. Spam. Here. Very cheap. See, they don't even have sonar. That's never going to catch submarines. But I guess you just need to spam them out so you can get the screening efficiency. So I kind of get why they did that. Oh yeah, the other thing that I want to see for Ireland is doctrines. Yeah, see, Ireland did everything right. They really did. It's the same thing I want to check for the Brits. Yeah, I guess it's you. Yeah, see, they started on the convoy protection way too frickin' late. Like, if you're going to do anything as Britain, if you want to go as a low naval Britain, just get the escort efficiency stuff. It is so important. And they actually have got a couple of convoys. No, they don't. They just stopped buying anything. If you want easy win, just build CAS and sink the navies with them. Well, not necessarily. I think tactical bombers are actually better. The problem with CAS is, one, their naval attack is actually pathetic. Their range is pathetic. And they're relatively easily shot down by fighters. Whereas if you do tactical bombers, you can go out here with your tactical bombers. And tactical bombers also have the highest ship detection of any aircraft. I don't know about naval bombers. I would kind of hope the naval bombers are better at detecting ships, but I know for a long time it was actually tactical bombers. No, now it's recon aircraft. If you have recon aircraft plus naval bombers, that's the best combo. But tactical bombers, just on a per plane basis, have the best ship detection. CAS definitely don't. Victory of the Princely Federation. That only just fired? Okay. So we have got a naval invasion by... Oh, Denmark. Wait, whose side's Denmark on? Reichspakt. Oh, of course, because all of this is controlled by Third International. I forgot, Sweden's not actually Swedish right now. And Denmark desperately wants Skåne back again. Well, the Irish are holding out like absolute champions, but it's just not going to last. I've got to give credit to America. Like, this was a really well-executed naval invasion. Oh, Commune of France has gone for motorized rocket artillery. I like that, actually. Because Nationalist France has advantages for light units, like light tanks and motorized. So going rocket artillery allows you to have really high soft attack. Look at those 3 champion submarines going up against the entire like Reichspakt Navy. No, Entente Navy. Oh, that's beautiful. This, not so much. That's 13 sunk battleships and 6 heavy cruisers because Britain's just out of oil. So they got stomped. But the Irish are here. They're like, nah, we'll do it. If the Union of Britain can't, we will. Good old Seamus. Level 7 in fleet coordination. I mean, honestly, the most important for submarines is damage followed by maneuver. I would actually say that fleet coordination is the least important, and defense. Which is why Helfric's so good, because he don't care about those paltry traits. Level 10 attack, please! And there it is, full of Dublin. I'm sorry, Ireland. You definitely get the MVP from me. Did Ireland research Navy doctrines? Yeah, they did. They got all of the rating techs on the interdiction tree. Like, seriously, Ireland did nothing wrong in this. I have nothing but praise for how Ireland was handling it. That's exactly what I would have done with the Irish as well. Probably not built sub-4s, but getting the technology for sub-4s that early, and then I would have used that tech to get the torpedo 4s and the engine 4s in sub-3s, but that's the only difference. Oh, did you... Just out of interest, did you build any recon planes? No. Okay, so that's the only other thing I would have done. But you're not air controller. Britain is. Britain's still out of oil. Britain's still out of oil. Britain's not even trying to buy it. Nope. Third International is going to be a complete breeze to invade. I mean, going for Britain, especially now that you've got Ireland as a base. Southern France, they've grounded the entire air force. Oh no. There goes Ireland. I'm sorry, Ireland. Oh, that was a focus for the Indians, okay. And yes, the destroyer spam, just to go in a bit more detail about that. For convoy protection, there's basically two schools of thought that you can follow for this. One is hunt and kill. So you have destroyers that have good sonar, good anti-submarine warfare, depth charges, and good speed. And usually slightly higher tier. They tend to be more expensive, but they will be able to hunt and kill submarines. So you just defeat the submarines through attrition, you just sink them. The other one is the spam method, which is what Britain was trying to do here, where you just get lots and lots of really, really cheap destroyers, and it's just sheer weight of numbers. As long as your screening efficiency is 100%, you will not lose convoys. So that does need to go with the doctrine. That gives you escort efficiency, otherwise your escorts will just not arrive in time. They'll still sink your convoys before the destroyers actually answer the distress call and arrive. The higher your escort efficiency, the faster a destroyer fleet will answer a distress and appear to screen them against the submarines. Switzerland's going to be the last one standing. Calling it now. So then, as long as you have 100% screening, that means that your opponent has a 0% chance of hitting with a torpedo, because the two are completely linked. 50% screen means 50% torpedo hit chance. 70% screen means 30% torpedo hit chance. 100% screen means 0% torpedo hit chance. So as long as you keep that screen up, it doesn't matter how many submarines they send after you, doesn't matter how good those submarines are, as long as you maintain 100% screening, you will not lose any convoys. Unless your ships don't get there in time. What's the TLDR on the stacking penalties? Never really gone into Doom stacks, just how punishing worth it are they? So generally, I mean, it's a balance. If you see an opponent having such large death stacks, and you probably want to have something maybe half the size, just make sure they're quick. Because you will get a positioning penalty, which is this, which will reduce the strength of your fleet. And in fact, this is a good example. Larger fleet minus 50%, and that is reducing your attack by 44%, your screening efficiency by 44%, your anti-air by 61%, and increasing the visibility of your submarines by 173%. So overstacking your fleets and having poor positioning is bad, and you will have poor positioning if your fleet is significantly bigger than your opponent's, which is why Doom stacking tends to be bad, because they will just perform poorly. But if you feed in fleets that are too small, they will simply die before they even have a chance to shoot, which is the advantage of death stacking. The other disadvantage of death stacking is every time your fleet puts out to sea, you are spending an ungodly amount of oil to do that. So if you're an oil-rich nation like the USA, it doesn't really matter. If you're playing an oil-poor nation like Germany, it matters a lot. And that's why Strike Force and having multiple strike fleets is a better idea. Like as Britain, I tend to have 3. The other thing is, if you death stack, your fleet is only in one position at a time. Whereas if you, say, have 3 fleets of a third of your maximum fleet each, spread around the British Isles, then you can be covering all 3 sea zones. And basically, you're a lot more resistant to naval invasions. Because one thing you can do is have a fleet coming out, they pull out their death stack, and then basically these two are just completely open to a naval invasion. Your naval invasion goes off, this naval battle goes on for ages because it's such a big battle, and you've been invaded. Whereas if you have the 3 separate fleets, yes, you might tie up a third of the fleet, but the rest of my fleet's killing your transports. Hopefully that answers that question. Are the Entente and the Reichspakt at war? No, I think it's everyone against Third International at this point. Oh, and CoPro is at war with Reichspakt. I think Entente is only Third International at this point. Yep. And Copro is only Reichspakt. Yep. There goes France. Spain and Britain. Spain don't really have enough troops to guard all of this. I mean, they're pulling some men back, which is good. And they should have abandoned Morocco. Morocco is not worth fighting for, not when your entire country's going to come under the combined attack of, like, the entirety of the Reichspakt. Oh, that was a poorly judged naval invasion. Just where the French heavy tanks just happened to be. That's a market garden moment right there. Let's do a power drop in Arnhem. Oh, there's an entire Panzer Corps garrisoned here. Whoops. There is an Admiral trait that gives 20% chance to hit, despite the screen making max screening efficiency 80%. I don't think so. Hey, Ireland. What can you tell me about admirals? See, their submarines are still fighting on. Good old Ireland. Ooh, Peter Higgins. Bold. Cots Corner's even better. Oh man, they should make Thomas de Valera their submarine commander. 20% extra damage on sub-4s with level 4 torpedoes would be excruciatingly painful. Thomas de Valera is like the perfect submarine commander. I get why he's probably reluctant to, because he's a level 7 already. But if you're convoy raiding, your experience is ridiculous. You will just level up so quickly. And Thomas de Valera will just do better in that role. But anyway, what I was trying to do was check this. Torpedo screen penetration plus 25%. I don't think that decreases the screening efficiency. That just means if their efficiency is low, 25% more of your torpedoes hit. I'll need to double check on that one precisely. Because I almost always take Silent Hunter instead of that. Because I prefer to have my submarines just not even seen. But if that's true, then yeah, that could be better. Sweden lasted longer than France. Sweden did last longer than France, you're not wrong. Watching college play Union of Britain for his team is actually doing the Navy on oil correctly, locking Germany's Navy down. Shame the UOB Mordred's watching turned out to be lazier than me. Yeah, I'm just waiting for this naval invasion to kick off. And you guys did decide to abandon Morocco, but way too late. Like, as soon as the breakthrough in Belgium happened, Spain should have had alarm bells ringing and just be like, right, I need to leave Morocco. As soon as Paris fell, there was no excuse for them to stay behind. And Britain's doing another pointless naval invasion. Like, why are you doing this? Help Spain garrison their border. What's this achieving, exactly? Hey, Union of Britain's actually got fuel. So at this point, I'd like to see Britain lend-leasing to Ireland, so Ireland has enough fuel for their submarines. Because Ireland's submarines are still dangerous as hell. Although he has lost a lot of them. Oh no, they were only in stacks of 3. No, he hasn't lost that many, actually. He should have 30. He currently has 20, so he's lost 10.